Sports to start your morning. Yesterday, the Baltimore Ravens agreed to terms with Willie Snead, which means they are no longer in the Dez Bryant sweepstakes. It's been 11 days since the Cowboys released Dez. CC, what does Dez Bryant's future look like in the NFL?
He's still got a future. He's got to make some adjustments as far as he has some requests as far as what he wants. I'm sure there's a dollar amount that he wants. He's going to have to adjust that. And then also potentially playing for a winner. It might not be there. He might have to go to a team that has a young quarterback or is not in the winning situation that he's been in Dallas. So he's got to make an adjustment. He's still got plenty of football left in him, though.
Listen, he's obviously going to be on a roster, but what I think is happening right now is teams are not focusing as much as 28th in the league among all players in yards, which is a fine production number as long as you're not in the top 15 or top 10 or as he was top 5 in payment.
Yes.
But they're looking more at, of the 36 players who were targeted at least 100 times last year, he was 33rd in catch percentage. Like, they're looking at how much of Dez's production was just pure volume of attempts as opposed to he's near the bottom of the league in yards after the catch. Things like that, he's going to either have to take a drastic pay reduction or show an ability to be improved at.
And, Jenna, the way we talked about, too, earlier is they're also looking into off the field. What type of person is he? What is he in the locker room? What about all this other stuff with him being late to meetings? How much of that stuff is true? So Dez is going to have to be able to fight that. But after the draft, I believe he'll find a home.
It probably won't be in the NFC East, though. Last night, Donovan Mitchell dropped 33 points, including 20 in the second half, to lead the Jazz to a 113-96 win in Game 4. Perhaps even more impressive is the fact that Mitchell had 0 turnovers. Rookie in the biggest game of his career so far, 0 turnovers. Nick, how impressed were you by Mitchell's performance last night?
Well, it's never happened in NBA history. A rookie score that many points and have 0 turnovers.
So you were kind of impressed.
Through 4 games, only Donovan Mitchell, Michael Jordan, and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, as rookies, 4 games in a postseason, have 110 points or more. I mean, you're running out of hyperbole with this guy. It's not hyperbole. He's been spectacular. He's been the best player on the court in a series with 3 Hall of Famers. Like, that's what he's been.
Not only has he been the best player in this series with 3 Hall of Fame scores, but of all the players in NBA playoff, who leads the NBA in fourth quarter scoring? Yours truly, my rookie of the year. So what he's doing, Jenna, is an
truly my rookie of the year. I was like, you did?
You
my rookie of the year.
Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah, he's followed me on Twitter.
He's been great. Spider Mitchell.
Last night, the Rockets defeated Minnesota to take a 3-1 series lead. They blew the game open with a 50-point third quarter, including 22 from the Beard in the third. CC, how impressive was last night's win for the Rockets?
Oh, this was impressive. They haven't shot the basketball the way we're used to Houston scoring the basketball. Through 7 halves, have not played spectacular. Their coach talked about it. People in the organization were concerned about it. But to come out with this 50 spot, start off the third quarter in Minnesota, I believe they will look back on this 12 minutes and this being the fire starter that got them on their championship run when they're crowned NBA champions 2018.
Just like I did with Donovan Mitchell, I'm going to do a little history here. No team had outscored their opponent by at least 30 points in a playoff quarter since the 86 Celtics did it, I believe, to the Bucks.
Who was on that team?
No team. The 86 Celtics, Bird, Parrish, McHale, Vinnie Johnson, Danny Ainge.
Ah, there you go.
Danny Ainge was allowed to sit at the end of the bench.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly right. No team had scored 50 in a playoff quarter since the 62 Lakers did it. Like, what they did in their most important quarter of the season, this was a 1-point game at halftime where Minnesota could have evened the series, and they played their best quarter of basketball all year. I think it sets them up to go on a run.
And my daughter was there yelling for the Timberwolves.
Yeah. It worked in the first half. She must have been getting some beverages third quarter or something.
Finally,
get some sleep and get over there working for the Vikings.
Moving on to one of the more ridiculous yet water cooler-esque topics of the morning, Kevin Durant and his fun with social media. So yesterday, Durant's Instagram account liked a comment saying, quote, Westbrook was the problem. They had a good team, in reference to the reason Durant left the Thunder. He later told reporters that this was an accident. Right. Because this seems totally out of character for someone who admitted to having fake Twitter accounts this past year. I can go on and on, but why would I do that when you could do the same thing? What do you think, Nick? What do you make of it?
I just don't believe him. That is not how Instagram works. He liked a comment, not an Instagram post. The only way you are seeing the comments is if you opt into it. You click to see expand comments, you're then scrolling through the comments. Of all the comments to accidentally like, It's not the one talking about what the post was about, because the post was about his advice to Giannis.
Or anything.
Or anything else.
I mean...
Like, what do I believe?
Right.
I believe that in addition to having burner Twitter accounts, KD has had burner Instagram accounts with which he not only, for some reason, likes to read what anonymous people on the internet are saying about a decision he made 2 years ago, but also then give him a little heart. Oh, good point. You got my back. Blaming that on Russ. Take that. It's just not believable. It's just there was a head coach of the Knicks who had some unfortunate likes on Twitter. His excuse was more believable than the one KD just came out with. Like, listen, you do what you want in your spare time. He publicly has said, I've left the social media stuff behind me. In the podcast he with Bill Simmons, he was like, no, I'm just locked in. I'm not worried about Twitter or any of that stuff. I mean, that's just obviously not true, and that's fine. It's not a federal case, but he's not being honest when he says, oh, I was scrolling and I liked it. That's not how Instagram works and what you did.
I think it's important that KD, even at this point, where he said that he was the best player in basketball, he felt like when he hit the shot against LeBron in the finals, there was a passing of the torch. If there's a passing of the torch, you're the best player in basketball, why are you trying to justify the decision that you made a couple years ago? If that was the best thing for you, then go ahead and live in your own truth. Like, don't be worrying about, don't try to justify you leaving. Well, now you're going to be involved in Giannis if he's going to be able to stay in a small market in Milwaukee, or with LeBron when he left Cleveland, went to Miami, and ended up coming back. Just live in your own truth. That's the part that I have, because I love Kevin Durant as the basketball player. Who this other guy is and everything, I don't know who he is, but I guess I have to accept it because he comes with the basketball player.
We had this conversation after the shoes and the cupcakes and the Twitter account and the Instagram account and the comments and the press conferences. Enough. If you want to talk about Oklahoma City, just talk about it. Just talk about it. We will all listen. But if you don't create a fake account and then by mistake like something because you scrolled through it and you had to go 3 layers deep in order to do it by mistake with your thumb. Do you see which one is easier?
And here's the thing. You wouldn't like this if KD did this, but I wouldn't have a problem with it. If KD had, let's say, a fake Twitter account to talk trash back to people talking trash about him, if he was like, hey, man, KD's rich and famous and awesome. You're a broke boy. Take that. Like, whatever. You want to blow off some steam that way? I wouldn't love it, but it wouldn't bother me. But let's think about what, with the fake Twitter accounts he tweeted. It was, no, OKC couldn't put a team around him. What comment is he liking? It's not someone saying, KD was the man, I'll always love him. It was, this was all on Russ. It's a weird mental hang-up he has about him versus Russ.
It is a mental
Nick,
hang-up.
how much money do you think KD makes?
Oh, I mean, on the court, all in about $40 million a year.
You give me $40 million a year, I can teach him how to have some good, clean fun. All right? Well, he don't have to get no burner and all that. All right? I can get him some good, clean fun. Well, the whole world will see. Now, if you want to rub it in the world's face, I can show him a way to be able to do that, and you don't have to be sitting back in somebody's basement.
And KD, for a lot less money, I can teach you how to have some good, not-so-clean fun. Either way, it'd be better than these fake Twitter accounts, man.
KD, I'll just work out with you. How about that? Now, between the 3 of us, we'll have a ton of fun.
You see that body. That body ain't meant for
KD
working
ain't into
out.
that, man. He's into just shooting shots. Come on,
no, your body's meant for working out.
Let's stick with that for a second.
No, let's stick with this.
Okay. This? Okay. Yeah. To the NFL now. Tom Brady retirement talk has begun to sweep the nation as a result of him missing workouts.
Let's talk about his body.
Okay. Now, though, Tom Brady's agent, Don Yee, has chimed in and says the Brady will play this season and into his mid-40s or until he feels he isn't playing at a championship level. Well, that should just about settle everything. Nick, how much should Brady's return impact the Patriots' draft plans? Because there is talk of whether they will package something up and get a quarterback.
Yeah, I now think it is overwhelmingly unlikely that they trade multiple picks to move up and get a quarterback. And when I say multiple picks, I'm not talking about trading, late round picks, but they have the 23rd pick, the 31st pick. There was some speculation when it looked like Brady was at least a little wobbly on is he returning, that, hey, if Josh Rosen's there at 7, 8, 9, and, the Niners are picking at number 9. They don't want a quarterback. They have Jimmy Garoppolo. Would you make a trade with them, package a bunch of picks to move up and get that guy? I don't think that's the plan anymore if it ever was the plan. Will they still take a quarterback at some point in the draft? I would imagine yes. Would I do that? I have an argument against that, but I think they will. So I don't think it drastically impacts their draft plans, but at least what would have drastically impacted their draft plans is if the agent came out and said the opposite. Because, Cece, when the agent is talking, who's he talking for?
That's Tom Brady. That's Tom Brady talking. All these other reports and everything, you don't have to agree with them or listen to them. When the agent is talking, he's basically repeating everything that Tom has said. So you have to take note of that. And you have to realize, too, that the agent doesn't make money if Tom walks away from the game. The only way the agent makes money if Tom fulfills that contract or they sign him to some new contract. So I thought all along that Tom was going to play whatever his word was, that he was going to try to play till his mid-40s. I believe that to be true, but also I believe that the Patriots and their front office, they have decided this year we will get a replacement. In the 4 picks that we have, 2 in the first round, 2 in the second round, with the second being the highest that they've ever spent on a quarterback, I believe that they will come out of these first 2 rounds with the quarterback of the future. And because I believe that they botched the Jimmy Garoppolo, I believe that it becomes even more important because they made that mistake in letting the future of the franchise out the door into San Francisco.
Nick, where does Josh McDaniels factor into all of this?
Well, I think that I think Josh McDaniels will have an enormous say if they draft a quarterback on who that quarterback is, because the belief is, I 100% believe that Josh McDaniels was given some type of verification. You are the next head coach of these New England Patriots. Now, he probably wasn't given a year on it, but he was told, after Bill Belichick, it will be you. I think that's the only way he doesn't go become the head coach of the Colts. So whomever they drafted that quarterback, maybe Belichick will coach him for some of the time, but they would hope if we draft the right guy and he's going to have a 10-plus year career, Josh is going to be the guy working with him as the offensive coordinator and eventually as the head coach. So I would think Josh McDaniels would have a lot of say in this, which is one of the reasons why I can't totally disregard the Lamar Jackson rumors, because I saw Josh McDaniels trade up for Tim Tebow, who obviously had some throwing mechanic flaws, some accuracy flaws, but was a dynamic college player.
I also believe that they could package those 2 picks in the first round, and if a quarterback slips, let's just say someone like Josh Rosen, I believe they like him. I believe the things that he stands for, the way he's played, delivers the ball, quick strike, West Coast offense, very, very accurate, a mature guy, thoughtful guy. I believe he would fit into the culture. Say he slips out of the first 8 to 10 picks. Then I believe New England could package those 2 picks to go up and get a guy like that. But it's important for them not only to come out with a quarterback, but they need starters. They need guys who can play right now.
Got to have a left tackle.
I mean, they have to have these guys for them to continue, because I believe it's more important to get a left tackle than it is the future quarterback.
And one thing about Rosen in particular, Rosen in the fit with the Patriots, your concern about Rosen is not that his family's rich, is not what his political affiliation is. Your concern about Rosen is his ability to stay healthy in the NFL.
Yeah, his durability.
And New England is great at what? As far as
they keep the quarterback upright. They get rid of the ball faster than any team in football. Tom Brady was not great against pressure. Tom Brady, early part of his career, did not like to get hit. Josh Rosen doesn't like to get hit. That's why it would be a good fit. Josh McDaniels has come up with the protection and a scheme to be able to protect Brady.
That's why a left tackle is going to be
absolutely
supremely important. Otherwise, Brady's the one that's going to get hurt, too. All right. Haven't done this in a while. Time now for Hall of Fame hits. Chris, take a look at this.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Without these hands,